Welcome to Recon Breakpoint on the PlayStation 4, and it's time for my first impressions review and plenty of gameplay as well in this video. And I'm going to be recording the commentary live, as I'm playing the game, and kind of looking around this central hub area. Should kind of give you a little bit of an idea of how Breakpoint is quite a bit different to Wildlands in the story, how it's set up. But I can reassure you that the actual really important bit, which is the shooting and the tactical, is pretty similar. And if you enjoyed Wildlands, you'll be able to get past the RPG elements that have now been introduced into Ghost Recon in Breakpoint to really enjoy the tactical side of it. Think of Breakpoint as a Wildlands that's been more divisionified. if that makes sense. So the story is quite a bit different as well. What we've got now is all these people are whizzing around, aren't they? Kind of breaking immersion. The story is that there's this island in the Pacific called Aurora, and it's been bought by this billionaire, kind of an Elon Musk type, who's been making high-tech equipment, high-tech drones, high-tech weapons, that sort of stuff, but also creating this like utopian society where it's a self-sufficient island, and there's farms and people live there, people go to school, there's kids there. But then something went wrong. The guy who owns it all kind of went missing. This security company called Sensor came in and seemed to have taken over. The island went dark, so there was no communication in or out. A US cargo ship was sunk off the coast. The ghosts were sent in from the USS Wasp to investigate what happened. Their helicopters have been shot down. Most of them are dead and the rest are scattered around the island. We find ourselves in this place here, which is the central hub area, where people I think they're called homesteaders. These are settlers who were here before the big corporation came here, and they've kind of started to hide themselves away because they're worried about what's happening on Aurora, and they've got children, and there's a shop here and you can craft stuff. Yes, this is much more of an RPG than Wildlands. It's definitely got the map though, so as you can see, the map is absolutely huge. It's probably at least as big as the Bolivia map in Wildlands. In the beta, we've only got access to a little bit of it, but I've worked my way through the story missions. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a kind of a side mission in a minute. We're going to attack this installation here. So let's have a look at some of the other stuff as well. So these are your objectives. So just like in Wildlands, you've got main story missions that you can work through, and you can find out about this guy. He's the head of the wolves. Now the wolves are the people, the bad guys who hunt you down. If you get spotted by a drone, these guys will get called in. And Jake Skell, he's the guy who's gone missing. Maurice Fox, you'll meet him earlier on. You get rewards as you do stuff. You get skins and things, and you get faction missions which change. You get story missions to find out. There's investigations where you're looking at what's happened, why didn't anybody outside Aurora raise the alarm? All these questions that need answering. You can find them out. Who sank the US military ship? We can find all that stuff out. We've got a very complicated loadout system now. What we have here now in Breakpoint is weapons are leveled now as well. So unlike in Wildlands, where you could pretty much, once you found an assault rifle or a submachine gun and a sniper rifle that you were happy with, you could play with them through the entire game, which is what I did. With this one, say the ASR, you can you would change that for more powerful ASRs, or sorry, it's an assault rifle. It's a 4.16, sorry. Or you can upgrade it with bits, and same with the sniper rifles as well. You see there's like level 14 and things, and the same goes for all your clothes as well, or your kit. You've got like level 1, level 7, level 12, level 15. Probably want that vest on, don't we, because it seems to be better. Oh, actually no, I don't want that. Looks silly. We won't put that on. Let's put that one on. You going to change for me? There we go, that's better. And we've got lots of equipment we can use as well. And as you'll see, we're by ourselves as well. At the beginning of the game, anyways, unless you're playing with friends, you are a lone ghost. I understand that Ubisoft are going to be bringing in a team of AI that you can use, so that's very different as well. So I tell you what, why don't we go to the map, and I've got some bivouacs set up around the map already. This is our target over here. So bivouacs are very much like in Wildlands, where you would go to a new province and you would open up like a rebel base, and then you could fast travel to them. So we can do that there. So I've got a few hours into the beta. It's very buggy. If you use your binoculars, you can't aim down sight afterwards. I don't like the way that the third person view seems to zoom in really close to your soldier, your character, which blocks off a large bit of the screen. But however, I have got into plenty of scrapes, and the gunfighting and the tactical side of it seems very similar to Wildlands. You can put mines down to blow vehicles up, you can draw people away, they call in reinforcements, you've got to watch out for helicopters, all that sort of stuff. Right, so let's have a look. So our target is a mere 780 meters away. So at this point as well, what you can do, unlike in Wildlands, have I earned another skill point? We didn't look at the skill tree, did we? So you've got the skill tree, which you can open up with skill points that you earn by doing stuff, and then you can choose a basic class, so like a sniper, that guy's a stealthy guy, a gunfighter, and they give you like a base gadget. So I've got a sensor launcher. If you play as the Panther, you get a cloaking spray, this guy gets a gas grenade, and this guy gets a med kit. Yeah, so, and then you can use your XP points, very similar to Wildlands, to unlock perks for yourself or your drone. The difference with this is you have a certain number of perks that you can have live. So at the moment I can have 3 different perks live. You also get passive skills and things like that. I haven't seen anything about your squad yet, but that was a big part of Wildlands, wasn't it? Not only would you level up yourself, but you would level up your squad and your drone and the rebels and all that sort of stuff. So, and I haven't really seen anything like that in the game so far. So let's head towards the objective. As you can see, what was he doing? Was he clearing his nose there? Very pretty game, just like Wildlands. In fact, I fired up Wildlands and gave it a go just to see what it was like, and yeah, it's really good. I played one of the basic levels, and what I did with Wildlands was after I'd sort of finished the game, I whacked up the difficulty level and got rid of things like detection clouds. Okay, so we've got some enemies here. So let me just show you the basics. So we've got our drone. So we can send up our drone to tag these guys. Right. So that red, if you look in the bottom right hand corner, there's a special drone coming over the top. These things are very dangerous. If they find you, they'll call in the wolves, which are the guys that are the like enemy special forces. Oh, this might be dangerous. These guys might see these dead bodies here. See if they spot them. No, they've driven past. Okay, let's just carry on now. And all this feels good, you know? Feels good. And I mean, already I can probably tell you, should you buy this? Oh, we've got some investigation. Let's investigate this. And this is very much like Wildlands. You come across bits of intel, and you can choose. Normally, what do you want to learn off this intel? Where a weapon attachment is, where a different mission is, all that sort of stuff. Very similar to Wildlands. And I think if you really enjoyed Wildlands and you haven't got another game to take up your time and you're desperate for another game, then I would definitely say this is worth looking at. For me, I really enjoyed Wildlands, and this is definitely a game that I'll want to get, but I've got lots of other things on at the moment with games like PUBG and DayZ and the new Call of Duty coming out, and so I don't really fancy paying full price for it. So for me, I think this game will definitely be something that I'll wait for it to go on sale, a bit like I did with The Division actually. So we've got two guys here again.
Keep a lookout. Shit.
And I think with the Ghost Recon games, once you get used to the basic controls and you've got some nice some perks going, you know, play it on harder difficulty levels, whack it up. So they stopped. See what this guy's got on him. Some 5.56 and some new gloves. See, that's very Division-like, isn't it? Very, very Division-like. You kill an enemy, he drops something. If it's good, you use it. If it's not, you can scrap it or you can sell it at the shop back at that base I was originally. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It's just different to Wildlands. Because I always felt that Wildlands was, you know, was the non-RPG shooter, you know. I mean, and they introduced RPG elements as the game went on, basically to make it harder for people, or to give people more more gameplay, didn't they? Because you got to a point, it was like, well, what do I do now? I've completed the game, I've done all the side missions, I've done all the DLC, so they said, well, I'll tell you what we'll do is we'll make it harder, right? What I'm going to do, I'm going to take out these guys that are around this area, just so that if I need to, what will probably happen is when I get involved in this battle, I'll have to run away, and if I can get rid of these guys, it means that I won't accidentally bump into them. So another guy over here. See, it won't let me go into infrared mode either. Where's the other guy? Right, this is the big base we're going to be assaulting in a second. Might as well, while we're over here, we might as well have a look around. The guys with the circles over the head are civilians. The drone's pretty powerful to start off with. So we've just got one more guy to find. So the other guy's probably inside this building. Right. Okay, so now we know everybody is. Okay, right, they've spotted me, so I need to move. Right, my character's exhausted now, so... Bit of luck if we can get around the back of this base. Gotta be careful. In fact, what I should probably do is have a drink. Right, so there's going to be somebody in here. Ooh, CTMMG. Right, so there we go. So we've shut down this little computer in here. So the idea here is that Sentinel, the security company, are setting up this sensor grid all over the island, and that's threatening the homesteaders, which are the people who were in that first base, the people who were kind of here before the corporation turned up. So in order to help them, you've got to kind of control what Sentinel are doing by shutting down their security systems, which is pretty cool. So hopefully that gives you a bit of idea of what the gameplay in and gunplay is like in Wildland, in Breakpoint. I feel that they've tightened up the single player experience. You know, the running around, it feels a little bit better, a little bit smoother than it did on in Wildlands. Someone's got a boat. Got some bits somewhere else to investigate. And as you can see, as you'd expect, we've got this absolutely massive map that we can explore and fight on. And we've got loads and loads of objectives to work through, find out what's look at all these. I mean, look at all these. I'd imagine what this looks similar to the way that it worked on on Wildlands, in the fact that we'll have to uncover clues to different people, which will eventually lead us to the big bad guy who can take out or someone else. So, initial impressions of Breakpoint is, yeah, this is the sequel to Wildlands. Maybe not the one we were looking for, with the fact that it's got a lot more RPG elements in, but the shooting's good. It does seem to have the tactical elements. I'm a little bit disappointed in the fact that you haven't got a squad with you. In a way, that sometimes is better though, because what used to happen with the squad in Wildlands, it would break the immersion a bit, because you would look over and see one of your squad mates literally crouching in front of one of the enemies who should have seen him but they didn't. And the fact that they haven't got that in now is kind of saying to me, well, okay, we don't have that immersion breaking experience, it's just us versus it. And I hope when Ubisoft do bring in AI teammates, maybe they've solved that problem of the AI teammates being very, very useful, especially for doing sync shots and things, but not very intelligent. You can do sync shots in this game, but you have little drones that you throw in the air, and yet they're one-use things. So you look at an enemy, you throw the drone hangs around that enemy till you fire, and then it kills all of them. So it's quite a rare thing to do a sync shot. But yeah, I'm impressed. If you're a big Ghost Recon Wildlands fan and you haven't got another game to play at the moment and you're looking for that single player experience, then I think Wildlands Breakpoint is definitely worth looking at. If you've got something else though that you're really playing and spending a lot of time on, then maybe wait for it to go down in the sale a little bit. For me personally, I won't be buying this at launch because we've got the new Call of Duty coming out. I'll be spending lots of time on that. I'm spending a lot of time on PUBG, and I'm spending a lot of time with DayZ at the moment. I just haven't got the time, to put in to playing like a massive exploration game. But when it goes cheaper in the sale, in a month or two's time, I'll definitely be getting it, as I'll definitely be getting, the Division 2, because I really like the Division as well. So there we go, Ghost Recon Breakpoint. Seems good. If you're watching this around the weekend of the 6th of September, if you get a code, you can download the beta and give it a go for yourself. But otherwise, I think we've got another interesting tactical shooter on our hands. Brilliant. Well, that's enough from me. If you found the video useful, hit like. If you want to see more of the same, press subscribe. If you want to support the channel, you can join the Patreon, or you become a member of the YouTube channel. Yeah, that's great. And I'll see you again soon.